Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Study with Soumya. Hope you all are doing extremely well. So in this video, we are going to discuss the coding questions that will be helpful for you for your TCS Ninja Topper test. So make sure to watch the complete video. Along with solving the problems, we'll be discussing some important tips that you can follow and that will be helpful for your exam. So that's why do watch the complete video. But before proceeding further in this video, if you haven't subscribed our channel till now, make sure to subscribe the channel. This channel will be helpful for you, so do subscribe the channel. Also turn on the bell icon so that you don't miss any important update or opportunity from the channel itself, and be a part of our Telegram channel as well. The link for the Telegram channel is given in the description itself. So without any delay, let's start with our first question. Okay, so here's our first question: that you are climbing a staircase, it takes n steps to reach the top. So basically, there is a staircase that you are climbing, and it is basically taking n steps to reach the top. Each time you can either climb one or two steps. So either you can climb one step or two steps. In how many distinct ways you can climb to the top? So they are basically asking the distinct ways that you can follow to reach to the top. You have two choices, that either you can take one step or two steps. Okay. So now, for example, if n value is 2, so there are two ways. So either you can take one step plus another one step. So in this way, you will be reaching to the top, that is nothing but 2 itself. Or you can just take two step at a once, because either you can climb by using one or two step. So by just taking one step of 2 or taking these one step, you will be able to reach to the top. So there are two ways, right? Even the explanation also it is mentioned that there are two ways to climb to the top. First is one step plus one step, and another is two steps. Next example 2, let's understand by this as well. So for n equal to 3, what you can do is there are three steps. How? So the first thing that you can do is one step, then another one step, then another one step. So after completing this, you will be reached to the top. Then another way that you can follow is one step, then another two steps. Third way that you can follow is first two steps, then one step. So overall, there are three ways to reach to the top. Okay. Now here's some constraint as well mentioned, that value of n will be lying between 1 to 45. The value of steps, so at least or minimum one step will be there, and maximum 45 steps will be there. As of now, this value can sort of looking you smaller, but for n equal to 45, the number of ways are going to be very, very large. And if you haven't come up with an optimized approach, you will be getting TLE. See, in the digital exam, questions most probably can be easy, or at once you will feel like, okay, I'll be able to solve this question. But it's more about the optimization or using some optimizing techniques. So you have to check the constant as well. Some constant will be provided there, and you have to check that the solution that you have come up with, either it is able to work or it is able to run in that given constraint. If it won't be running in that given constraint, then most probably you will be getting time limit exceeded. So if you are getting like this, you have to further optimize. See, in the code that you have come up with, maybe it's a brute force approach that you have come up with, you have to check if you are doing any repetitive steps, so if you can optimize it. So you have to further optimize your code that you have come up with. Well, at first sight, you will come to know, when you'll be going through this question, you will feeling like, okay, that is easy. We can use recursion here. Obviously, we can use recursion here because here are choices involved. Okay, so here are different choices involved, then obviously we can use recursion. Fine. So now, first and the most important thing, you have to come up with a recurrence relationship. Okay, so let's understand about this. See, when n is equal to 1, what will be your output, or how many number of steps you can take? One only. When n value is 1, you can take only one step. When n is equal to 2, you can take how many ways? That is, either you can take one step plus another one step, and either directly two steps. So for n equal to 1, there is only one way possible, that you have to take one step, and for n equal to 2, there are two ways possible. Okay, for n equal to 3, from here you check that it is like this. What is the case for n equal to 0? For n equal to 0, it will be 0 only. Okay, it will be 0 only. So that's what we understood till here. So the relationship, or the recurrence relation that you'll come up with, the recurrence relation that will be like, for a given value of n, we can have t of n minus 1 plus t of n minus 2, right? And you already know that when n equal to 1, the output will be 1. For n equal to 2, the output will be 2. Cool. Now, for example, I want to know for n equal to 3. So let's put 3 here. So t of 3 will be giving you what? T of 2 plus t of 0. So t of 2 is nothing but 2. Okay, sorry, I just messed up. So yeah, t of n minus 1. So it will be giving you t of 2 plus t of 1. So t of 2 you have as 2, and t of 1 we have as 1. So 3 will be our correct answer, and that's what we are getting in the output as well. If you want to know for n equal to 4, so t of 4, you will be having t of 4 minus 1, that is t of 3 plus t of 2. So t of 3 we already calculated, that is nothing but 3 plus t of 2. So that is 2. So there are 5 ways possible. So this is the recurrence relationship. Now, if I'll be asking you to write the code for the same, so just a simple code, what you can write is that for a given input, let's suppose your function name, let's take as int climb. Okay, it is taking that number of steps as input. So first of all, what you can do is, if n value is equal to 0, simply return 0, or you can write like n less than equal to 0, simply return 0. If n equal 1, simply return 1. If n equal to, simply return 2. Otherwise, what you'll be doing is, you will be making a recurrence call. You will be making a recursive call on that function itself. So otherwise, you'll be doing what? Return climb n minus 1 plus climb n minus 2. So for example, let's suppose n equal to 4 we gave. 4 is less than equal to 0? No. 4 equal 1? No. 4 equal 2? No. Now, so we are going to make a recursive call, that is climb n minus 1. So n minus 1, 4 minus 1, that is going to give you 3. So again, for 3 as well, what you'll be having, let me write here itself, that climb 3 plus climb 2. So from climb 3, if you'll be checking, so these conditions won't be true. So again, a recursive call will be there, that is climb 2 plus climb 1. So for climb 2, this if condition will be true. So from here you'll be getting 2. And for climb 1, this condition will be true. So you'll be getting 1. So 2 plus 1, that is 3. So climb 3 will be giving you 3 overall. Now you have this part to solve. So climb 2, so n equal to 2, this condition will be true, and you will be getting 2 from here. So 5 will be our correct answer, right? So this is the recursive approach that you have come up with, and that solution is perfectly fine. But this solution will be providing you TLE, right? Because as the value of n will increase, the number of ways are going to increase in a huge amount. Then what optimization we can do? Now, you know that recursion is we can say a kind of superset of dynamic programming. So we can use dynamic programming, or like memoization approach here. We can use memoization approach here. You can see for some part we are doing repetitive calculation. You can see here also we are repeating ourselves. We are doing repetitive calculation and again, due to which we are doing extra work. So we can reduce that work. How? By using memoization. So let's understand that how we'll be using memoization here. So for memoization purpose, what we can do is the calculation we are doing, we can store it somewhere. For example, you know that if your n value is 0, result will be 0. If your n value is 1, result will be 1. If your n value is 2, result will be 2. So let's take an array. Let's take an integer array, dp, and its size be n plus 2. Okay. And then what we are going to do is for dp of 0, the value will be 0. We are going to store it. For dp of 1, the value will be 1. For dp of 2, the value will be 2. And for any other value, for example, the input given by the user is 4, let's suppose. So first of all, so for this, what we'll be doing is we'll be taking a simple loop for int. So up to here, we already have the things, right? So we'll be starting this loop from I equal to 3, I less than equal to n, I plus plus. And in this dpr itself, we are going to store our calculation so that we are not doing the repetitive work again and again. So dp of I is what? 3. So dp of 3 will be calculated by the previous work that we have done or the previous values that we have stored. So dp of I minus 2 plus dp of I minus 1, right? That's what we are going to do. So dp of 3 is going to what? dp of 3 minus 2, that is 1, plus dp of 3 minus 1, that is 2. So dp of 2 is nothing but 2 itself. So in dp of 3, now we'll be having what? dp of 3 will be having what? 3 itself. Now n value is what? 4. So I value will be 4. 4 less than equal to 4. The condition is still true. So for dp of 4, we'll be having dp of 4 minus 2. That is dp of 2. So 2 will be here. Plus dp of 4 minus 1. So you can see now we are not repeating ourselves because we have already done this calculation. So we have stored it somewhere. We can directly access it. In just constant time, you are able to access the value. So dp of 4 minus 1, that is dp of 3 is nothing but 3, as if we have previously calculated. So from here, you'll be getting dp of 4 is 5. Simply, like if you are writing in this all these things in a function, so simply you can return dp of n. That will be your answer. So this is the approach that we can use for solving this question. So I hope that you must have understood the approach. So without any delay, let's move to the code part. So first of all, we'll be taking an integer variable n. That is nothing but the number of steps that we do have as input. So let's take this as input. Now what we're going to do is, so we need ways, right? So I'm taking a variable of integer type ways. Now this this is basically going to store the result that we'll be getting from calling a function climb, right? And here I'll be simply printing this variable, that is ways. Fine. So now we have to write our actual logic to climb function. So as if this is returning an integer variable, integer value, so we have to take this as of integer type. Now we are going to take a dp array, right? And to this, what we're going to do is, so we need we are aware of some values, like is dp of 0, we'll be having 0 if like n value is 0. dp of 1 will be 1 itself. dp of 2 will be 2 itself. Now we have to simply take a for loop for the calculation of remaining values. So int I equal to 3, I less than equal to n, I plus plus. So now we'll be doing dp of I. So if I want to calculate now ith value, so how can I do so? So simply dp of I minus 1 plus dp of I minus 2. So now we are not repeating ourselves. The previous calculation, we are memorizing it, right? We are remembering it. That's why the term is there, memoization. Fine. And after coming out of this while for loop, we'll be simply returning dp of n. So let's take an example to check whether we are getting the expected answer or not. So for 4, if we are giving, so you can see we are getting 5. Let's try 35. So you can see the value is very large. So that's what I was mentioning, that if you will be going with the recursive approach, then most probably you will be getting the time limit exceeded or this kind of error, because there will be some time constraint that you have to follow. If we are taking 44 itself, 44, so you can see the how the value is getting large when we are increasing the number of n. Fine. So I hope that you have understood the complete code. Now see, in the digital exam that you're going to give, it's not always, it's not completely about just solving the question. It's about optimizing your code as well, optimizing the solution that you have come up with, that as well. Because most probably the thing will happen that you'll be able to come up with an approach, but maybe a case that it's not according to the given constraint, or you are not, or you haven't optimized your solution, or these kind of things happen. This kind of things can happen, or there can be a possibility for the same. So it's like you have to work more on the optimization part to eliminate the steps that you can find out that this thing I'm repeating again and again, this thing I'm doing the repetitive work. So you have to check for this. So this is it for this video, guys. If you have found this video useful, and if you want us to make more such video, then make sure to drop the comment for the same. Also like this video, share the video, and don't forget to share and subscribe our channel and be a part of our Telegram community as well. The link for the Telegram channel is given in the description itself. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Keep learning, keep preparing. Bye bye.